Hi, everybody. Roxanne Langley, your Houston financial coach here. And I thought this week's video, we would talk about job transitions. Unfortunately, during this time right now, there are so many of us, that, whether you happen to be between jobs intentionally, or you were laid off, or maybe you're on furlough. Right now, there are some steps that you can take to transition the stress and worry, to help. Um, you know, because everyone's situation is different, is unique. What will work for, say, a single person that has been laid off versus married with two children. The requirements are going to be a little different from one to the other. So I encourage you to, reach out either to me, or if you are currently working with a financial coach or a life coach, reach out to these people. Dial into your resources so that we can help you weather our 2020 storm. The idea is that you should determine an intentional path, and, as for instance, the law of attraction, or, if you follow any of, what you put out there is what you will receive back. You want to move forward. You want to move towards something, not just sit and woe is me and why did this happen? We've all done it, and it's totally natural. And there are days when you want to sit there, and you need to sit and binge watch, whatever TV show or whatever movie series that you need to just binge watch, and just for a day or two, just do that and don't think about it. But then at the end of a couple of days, it's time to get up and shake it off and say, okay, it's time to figure this out. So as we all know, a job loss has a very dramatic impact on our short-term and also our long-term goals. There are ways to transition and minimize the impact. I mean, it sounds like, and Roxanne, you're not sure what you're talking about, but trust me on this. You can minimize this. In general, I see so many people that try to maintain the lifestyle that we have when we're working Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and we keep on going. And whether it's in an effort to, we don't want the kids to know, or, everything will be okay, I'm not worried about it. Reality, unfortunately, sort of kicks us all in the teeth and says, excuse me, so there are, in a successful transition, which many of you are in right now, there are financial adjustments that need to be made. There are emotional adjustments. There are lifestyle adjustments. And the key takeaway to remember through all three of those is it's only temporary. It may not be fun right now, but it's temporary. We will get back to a fully funded payroll. We will get back to being able to contribute, or being able to save for a rainy day. So if you will implement the transition, properties I'm getting ready to go over with you, if your stress level, it'll still be up here, but it won't be way up here. It will come down. The fear of the unknown is reduced. There's roadblocks before that, before they occur, that gives you time to adjust. So there is some safety nets in there, and anything. And I'm a big believer in, increase my knowledge, teach me, show me, guide me. And I may not remember it all, but typically I'm going to remember the important pieces that I need to remember to make choices that are based on facts and not fear, and I'm not panicking. So, like some of the keys to look at: your emergency fund. Right now, if you were laid off or if you were furloughed, did you receive any severance pay? Take your severance pay and any other cash that you have right now, metaphorically put it in a big pile, and that becomes your emergency fund. Now, you may already have an emergency fund established and set aside in a savings account. Thank you. You are doing awesome. That is wonderful. Right now, during this time, pay your debts, but don't pay any extra. So let's say, for instance, you were making extra principal payments of $100 a month on your mortgage. Stop the extra principal payment temporarily. Just keep making your mortgage payment on time, but stop the extra. Some people, credit cards, if you were working on becoming debt free and paying extra on your credit cards, stop that right now. Just make your regular payments and stockpile any extra until you get back to work. Now, a spending plan. If you haven't sat down and actually, whether it's on a computer, on an Excel spreadsheet, or Google document, or, pad and paper and pen, and worked out your spending plan for your household expenses, do that right now. November 1st is coming up. So, in the next week, sit down and list out your household expenses. Cut some of these to the bone. I mean, if it means that the all-inclusive premium sports package needs to be cut down to the basic on the cable bill, it's only temporary. So cut it back to the basic. And that could save you as much as $100 extra a month. You can add any of these back later. But right now, the key is to cut heavy now. While you're transitioning, cut it now, and then we can add it back in later. If by chance you were covered under you had life insurance through your previous employer, this is the time to, number one, ask them when your coverage will no longer be in effect. It may be 30 days after you were furloughed or laid off. It may be immediate, but check with the owner. If it's a small business, if it's a larger corporation, check with the HR department. That should have been in your severance package, but if it wasn't, find out when you will no longer be covered on the life insurance, and then call around and get quotes for term life insurance. And I stress term life insurance is what you want to get quotes on. Preserving your retirement. If you have had a 401k or a 403b, if you are a teacher, you want to have these rolled over into an IRA directly through a direct transfer. Now, I would suggest call your financial advisor or your financial planner. Give them your latest copy of the statement of your 401k or your 403b. Tell them that you want to do a direct transfer rollover. Now, the important word in this is rollover. So the last thing you want to do is cash these two out, have a check or a wire transfer to you, because you will be responsible for early withdrawal penalties, paying taxes on the income. You want to have this rolled over into an IRA that you can manage yourself. So another thing that you might want to check into are, what type of side hustles could you take right now? Any type of part-time jobs. I've done some nice garage sales lately and generated some extra income and gotten rid of a lot of things that I needed to get rid of. We all have that stuff. So when you're working on your spending plan, think of your priorities. Now, your priorities are food, utilities, shelter, your home, and transportation. Also, because so many of us are working from home or the kids are, virtual learning with school, I underneath the shelter, or utilities, I'm throwing in internet in there, because we cannot do without it, but protecting protecting these four, this is your four walls, these are your basics, this is what you need every month to function, to survive. Start networking. Networking was probably, with my business, has probably been the one item that I have struggled with. I can talk to people till the cows come home, but you put me in a networking where all of a sudden I'm on, and I need to really talk about, as a financial coach, as a money coach, and when you start talking about budgets and spending plans and, retirement and such, it's not always easy to convey that I don't sell insurance. I do not sell investments. I help people take control of their debt, of their financial, sometimes the chaos that we find ourselves in, and corral that, take control, with a plan, work it to where step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, maybe step 55, to where we get to where we're spending our money correctly and we're covering our bills. We have money left over, and we're actually paying ourselves at that point, which is really, really nice. That's a good place to be. When when you're going through a transition such as a job loss, staying positive, it's hard. I mean, it's just downright tough. It affects our health. It affects our relationships. Of course, it affects our finances. It affects our marriages. Our even just spending an hour with the kids. It affects everything. So one of the things that I like to remind people, and I have to remind myself sometimes, that you surround yourself with positive, uplifting, encouraging people. Ones that say and show you, I believe in you. Yes, it is a tough time right now, but we're going to get through this. We will survive. We're in this together. Those are the people you want in your corner. And those are the ones that when it's really tough, those are the ones that get us through it. It's very easy to sit back and complain, dwell on the negative, dwell on it's so unfair. It isn't right. I shouldn't have been laid off. I deserve better than that. They shouldn't have treated me that way. And I'm not discounting any of those thoughts. And there's a time when, yes, you think that and you say it out loud, and then it's like, okay, I'm done. Let's move forward. Let's go out and tackle the world and see what happens. I don't remember the exact quote, and I'm really going to paraphrase this right now, but many, many, many times, and I can say this from my own life, when the greatest disappointments or the greatest adversity hit me, whether it was a personal relationship, whether it was with my career, those were the times that eventually, when I stopped focusing on, well, that shouldn't have happened, or the what ifs, and I started focusing on the positive and moving forward, the greatest, loving, best times happened. It's hard to see it. You can't see the forest for the trees. It's hard to see the positive that can come out of so much negative at this moment, especially when you've lost your job. And know that I'm here for your questions, your comments, because we are all in this together. And I thank you so much for tuning in today for this week's video. Please, if you will, right below, subscribe, follow me here on YouTube. These videos are not, they're not in my comfort zone, but I'm getting a little better at them, I hope. Any other subject content, let me know what you'd like to see and hear about, or what I can help you with. I'm always happy to step in. Please comment below, let me know. And also, I welcome your suggestions. So thank you for tuning in this week. Thank you for following me on YouTube. And if you have any other questions, or if you'd like to know more about how a money coach can help you, please visit my website. It's roxannefinancialcoach.com. And you can also find me on Facebook and Instagram at Roxanne Financial Coach. Thank you so much and have a great, great day.